it's Melissa. In this video, I am going to show you how to combine the power of two of my favorite things in my studio. So my xTool laser, this is the P2, and my sublimation printer to make some really stunning custom items. So both of these items were used with, sublimation hardboard. So it starts as just a plain white board, and then you can either sublimate onto it before or after cutting. Obviously, in this case, I sublimated it onto it before, so the sheet was just printed. I'm going to go through this whole process, but the power of putting these two together is amazing. You can make some really custom things, and I have some tips for you in this video to help you avoid getting any kind of little brown edge where you might get from kind of the soot on the laser. I will say this is really a job for an xTool P2 or another CO2 laser. The diodes are just not powerful enough to get through this thick, dense hardboard. So let me show you how that's done, and I think you're going to be really loving this. It's going to give you a whole lot of options, and I'll have links in the description below if you're interested in adding on a sublimation printer or where I got any of this stuff. Let's go. Okay, so in this case, I am actually going to sublimate onto my piece of sublimation hardboard before I cut, but depending on what you're doing, you don't actually have to do that. So what I do suggest that you do is before you cut, I would layer some kind of tape. So this is just painter's tape that I'm using, and layer it over your hardboard. The reason is because this stuff is thick and it's pretty dense, and so it creates a lot of smoke and soot while it's laser cutting. And so to avoid getting like white edges around your design, if you tape it or mask it, then you will prevent that. So tape the entire thing, and then I just use scissors to trim off the extra so there's no tape kind of hanging off. And then I literally just place it into my xTool. Now, I have only had really good luck cutting sublimation hardboard with my xTool P2, which is a CO2 laser, a 55 watt. So once it's in there, I use the sublimation, I'll share the settings in the description below, but you can see the amount of smoke that it's already creating. So just be careful, watch this closely. Obviously, make sure you're using a filter or venting outside. And then when it's done, you will have your whole sheet will have been set. Now, what I would also suggest is that you use some kind of cleaner before you peel off the tape so you don't get it on your hands or on your board. So what I actually like to use is some water on a magic eraser, and I just clean up the area before I take off the tape. And then once I take off the tape, then all the little pieces pop out, and you have really perfectly sublimated and cut hardboard. So super easy, fast way to laser cut sublimation hardboard without making, a real mess. And I've used this process to cut sublimation hardboard many times. Again, you can sublimate before or after. In this case, since I was just doing a big block and cutting out of that, I sublimated beforehand. And then it's just a matter of assembling. This entire design was created in Silhouette Studio, so if you're looking for a tutorial on that and how I designed it, I have another video on that. I do use G50, which is an instant adhesive, and I'll put the link to that along with everything else from the acrylic to the wood to the tutorial on how to make the keychain sublimations in the description below. And make sure you hit subscribe if you're interested. I've got Silhouette U and a whole lot more resources, and I will link to all of that. Thanks, guys.